Hello everybody! I am making this video because I love Disventure Camp. It's one of my obsessions. And this show currently has an ongoing season, Fans vs. Favorites. By the time of making this video, it's 9 episodes in out of 26, which is roughly a third of the way through. Since this is my first season watching live, I figured, oh, I should totally make a tier list. I really want to get my thoughts out there and see how they change over the course of the season. For this video, I'm going to focus on the fans team and its dynamics, and that'll include Aiden, who got swapped onto the team. If you agree or disagree with my list, I'd love to see a comment below, but with that out of the way, let's just get into it. First up is Aubrey. She is the first boot, so obviously there's not that many things to say about her, but I will say that I do appreciate the parodying of the astrology-obsessed character that we sometimes see on reality TV. Simple character concept and execution. By all means, I think it was done well. Plus, I do find enjoyment out of the line, "You voted me over a Scorpio?" It gets memed heavily within the community, and I laugh every time. I'm gonna put her in light. She left her impact on this season with that moment. Next is Ernesto. His story revolves around him trying to take the leadership role, but failing miserably because no one cares for his authority and they all love to interrupt him. Honestly, I find it pretty funny. Ernesto himself has amazing expressions during that first episode, like he just gives complete death stares to anyone who annoys him. Apart from that though, I don't have any strong opinions on him. His personality in particular is pretty subdued overall. Neutral he goes. He served his purpose, got eliminated, and that's all to write home about. Oof, Manu. What can I say about this guy? His first 2 episodes centered around him bonding with Bruno and being that person who stands up for him when characters like Ara and Finn make fun of him. But then, Bruno gets swapped out in episode 2. What does Manu do then? He makes the worst move imaginable. His flip in episode 3 made little logical sense, and kind of felt out of nowhere based on what we've seen from his character. Then, immediately after this move, he gets booted. Like, what? What's the point of this buffoonery? At least with someone like Logan from last season, his early game flips were done out of emotion and an intense need to people please. That's something he had to grapple with over the course of the season, something that challenges his character. Unfortunately, I'm missing all that character work with Manu, and since he got eliminated early, we don't get to see any payoff from that flip. I'm putting Manu in dislike. I'm just thoroughly underwhelmed with how he was handled. Okay, next up is Finn. Much like Aubrey, he's a very simple character with very simple execution, and I like him for that. There's just zero positive traits to him in his gameplay. If it weren't for Ara basically carrying him, he'd have his foot out the door right after Aubrey. He is a mean-ass, gay-ass, ego-driven, parasocial theater kid flop. He fails at challenges, he fails at strategy, and he fails at socializing. And as much as he says he's such a great actor, he cannot keep a straight face. If he's annoyed, he'll let you know, and that eventually became his downfall since a full day of Evie and Oliwia in the challenge made him fully crash out. In his elimination round, he ended up being the target out of other contestants' sheer lack of tolerance for him. What an iconic exit. Everything he does is for the sole purpose of comic relief, and I find him effortlessly entertaining. I'm easily putting him in a door. Finn is everything I want out of an early boot. Very strong impression, very big flameout. He understood the assignment and he delivered. Aiden. Aiden. I love seeing him flop so hard. His gameplay is frankly atrocious. And it all starts when he gets swapped over to the other team and he instantly starts an alliance with Evie just to stay within close proximity to her perceived advantage. The catch though? Evie does not have an advantage at all. We get to see some beautiful irony in Aiden causing such a ruckus on the fans team, all for something that doesn't even exist. Oh my goodness. It culminates with him begging for Evie to use the advantage during his elimination round, only for Evie to gain sudden onset deafness. It is very hilarious. You just cannot write a character to be any more pathetic than Aiden in this situation. The only thing that gives me pause is that I feel this is a very weird ending to give a returnee. Like, we have so many negative traits attached to him, including ones from previous seasons, but it doesn't feel like he was able to surpass them. And this is in stark contrast to most of the favorites this season, whose storylines emphasized growth and change. I'll still put him in love out of pure entertainment factor, but that's about it here. Okay, next we have Evie. Evie, she's kind of playing up the comic relief role, and I think she does amazingly at that because she is very funny. She constantly misses every single social cue. Finn at one point even screams at Evie to shut up, only for her to keep on yapping much to his annoyance. Like, oh my goodness. Every single scene with Finn and Evie together is amazing. Not to mention, of course, the spooky ghost boomerang advantage that she supposedly has. Her oblivious nature and lack of acknowledgement of it surprisingly helped her maintain that air of mystery around it. And she got Aiden and Finn fully in her midst. What an icon. I have to put Evie in the door. She's just so entertaining to watch and I can't fault her for that. Next is Dunia. She's cool, but I find it a bit hard to gauge her character. For 9 episodes, she's kinda there just as a support role. We see Ren and Ernesto help out with her altar, with Ren going on to be best buddies with her. We see Sam confide in her his reason for competing on the show. And most importantly, we have this potential romance blooming between her and Nura. All this is fine and dandy, but it begs the question, what does this actually mean for Dunia herself? Right now, I can't say that any of these interactions reveal much about her, and we're missing a lot of her perspective on these matters. When it comes to the vote, for example, she offloads a lot of her decision making to Ren, so we're not getting any of her thoughts on the game and of the eliminated contestants. And when it comes to Nura, we get plenty on why Nura's interested in Dunia, but there hasn't been a reason presented yet for why Dunia cares so much for Nura in return. The consistent trend here is that we're often not getting how Dunia feels in these moments. And when we do get her perspective, it's unfortunately very shallow and unexplored. For now, I think neutral is a good place to put Dunia. She's been very static and surface level for most of the season, and I need more. I'm really hoping the plot with Nura will help bring that out. Hopefully. Now we come to Nura, and I find her by far the most interesting of her trio. She's coming in seeking fulfillment. She wants to follow her aspirations, but has been finding difficulty doing so. And with that comes a huge sense of pessimism. And understandably so. Life is complicated. There's lots of socioeconomic factors in play that would make it harder for someone like Nura to succeed. A lot of times, it's unfair. This is where a lot of interesting conflict lies. We see Nura express her envy towards other characters, but hidden behind very biting sarcasm. At the start, we see that happen with Bruno, with Finn, and most importantly, with Dunia. And while Nura is able to patch things up with Dunia, we still have that bit of apprehension about her, a hesitation to fully adopt Dunia's brighter perspective. I have to put Nura in Adore. Her storyline set up pretty solid, and she's like the one character left in this team that I'm always looking forward to. Next is Aura. I think Aura's okay. For the first couple of episodes, she's been kind of Finn's second half, playing up the mean girl aspect, which I think is very fun. But since Finn got eliminated, Aura's forced to branch out. And who did she land on? Nura. Gasp! Interesting. Aura's bringing out that more cynical side of Nura, and she's really leaning into that manipulation. What I'm waiting for out of Aura is a little more character. She's a pretty simple villain, which is fine, but not something I'm too excited for if she's gonna stay longer. Give me a bit more depth, please. I'll put Aura in neutral. I'm hoping in the future that we'll get something more genuine between her and Nura, just to add something to that dynamic. Ren. My thoughts on Ren have fluctuated dramatically over the course of the season, large part due to this last episode. Episode 9 really soured my opinion on Ren. The thing with Ren is that he very much acts on his whims, and it's shown with these last few eliminations where Ren is the one in full control driving the vote. The only reason why we got Finn out before Aiden and Aiden before Evie is purely out of Ren using emotion, not logic. And in Evie's elimination round, he was talking mad crap about Evie in full earshot of her. Clearly, he did not like her at all, and he's not afraid of her finding out because Evie was going home that round anyways. Evie was literally just eliminated, and he goes on to serve this backhanded compliment like, "Evie, you're such a great human being," and muttering under his breath, "in any other context." Like, wow, what an insane display of arrogance. And another thing, I thought we were getting somewhere with the use of his idol on Oliwia. At the time, I was like, wow, how chivalrous. He's protecting Oliwia and standing up for her against Finn. But that never carried through with any of his future interactions. Rather, what we got was Ren stonewalling Oliwia and completely ignoring her. Ironically, just like Finn, Ren doesn't actually value Oliwia that much. That completely recontextualizes his idol play. He really only saw Oliwia as a means to vote Finn out. But despite all this, he's still in a very strong position in the game. Aiden's alliance completely disintegrated anyway, so what does it matter if he doesn't play logically? He can make moves out of pettiness and spite, and not get any pushback for it. All this makes for a character that I can only really root against. I'm putting Ren in neutral. Overall, such a mixed bag. All I'm hoping for is that he gets challenged in future episodes. He cannot continue this course into the merge with no difficulty. Next up, Oliwia. From her story so far, she's being set up as someone who really craves praise and attention. And that causes her to form unhealthy attachments to other characters. It's to the point where she will fly in the face of strategy, flip on the vote, and even throw challenges just to receive more of that praise. Then we get to episode 6, where we get to see her at her lowest. Finn exposed her sabotaging in front of everyone and really railed into her to the point where Oliwia had an emotional breakdown. That was a significant moment. And in episode 9, we get to see how Oliwia reacts to that. This time, she's very concerned over her challenge performance. She does not want anyone to come at her like Finn did, but unfortunately for her, that does not address the root of the problem. Much like Finn, Ren doesn't seem to care for Oliwia at all. Straight up ignored her when she wanted to talk about the vote, because he was so occupied with wanting Evie out. Hopefully, we'll get to see Oliwia break this cycle. I'm not sure how, but some way it'll happen. I'm putting Oliwia in like for now. She's not the most entertaining fan, but with her story, all it takes is a single spark for events to truly ignite. And I'm interested in seeing where that goes. Last from the fans is Sam, and I find Sam a bit hard to rate. A large part of his content is dedicated to his gameplay. He's a slippery fella. Like in episode 6, he manipulated Ren into playing his idol while simultaneously ingratiating himself in the majority. So smart of him to do that. That was a pretty defining move. I'll drop Sam in neutral though. I'm unfortunately not very invested in him if he's gonna be all gameplay, no character. I just want some balance. And that concludes the fans team. Unfortunately, I don't feel very excited for most of the fans left in the game. None of them I feel a huge attachment for aside from Nura. With 2 completely unanimous votes back to back for the sole purpose of kicking out Aiden and Evie, it felt like nothing's moving around and there's no plot to latch onto. That sucked a lot of air out of my system. That being said, I'm optimistic that things will look up in future episodes. Everything revolving around Nura's plot is bringing out a lot of intrigue to this team. And I have small hopes that Oliwia's will also shake things up a bit, so hopefully all that happens. And with the merge in the horizon, we might get some interesting fan and favorite interactions. My personal favorite from this team overall is Finn. I'm just a sucker for the main gay trope, and I think Finn is a marked improvement over Yule, a character from the past seasons who is of similar archetype. My personal least favorite is obviously Manu, the only one I haven't disliked right now. As far as I'm concerned, he can be cut from the season and it'd be better as a result. It's kinda a shame, but it is what it is. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you have anything to add to the discussion, if you have an alternate interpretation of certain characters or certain scenes, I'd love to know. For now though, I'll see you next time when I review the favorites team. Goodbye!